Well, ladies and gentlemen, this may be the video that gets me canceled. This may be my most controversial video to date. IDF blames technical error after Gazan officials say children collecting water killed in strike. So, according to this, about 10 people died, and from the report, 3 of them were children. Oh, 6 of them were children. Sorry. So, the Israeli military says it missed its intended target after Gazan officials said 10 Palestinians, including 6 children, were killed in a strike at a water collection point. Now, understand, Palestinian officials or Gazan officials, not exactly credible. However, the IDF itself is admitting that, yeah, we did hit some targets that were unintended. So the IDF basically admitted to this. Now, they didn't admit to the total death count, but at this point, if they admitted to this, we can just take the 6 children as at face value, all right? Whether it's 3 kids, whether it's 6 kids, 10 people are dead, and that's because the missile apparently went off target. Now, I'm going to say something, and it's probably going to get me canceled, but the IDF seems to do this a lot. And by a lot, I'm not talking about as much as Hamas. I'm not making a moral equivalency between the two of them. There should be no moral equivalency between the two of them. Israel is obviously better than Hamas. I'm not Hassan Piker. I'm not insane. But that doesn't change the fact that 6 kids are dead, and this is the state of their watering hole, apparently. This is where they go to get water. That is absolutely disgusting. I understand the thing of, well, we're at war. We're at war. What do you expect from us? We're at war. I understand that. But even in war, there are rules. So if you think this video is going to be me defending Israel or the IDF, you've lost your mind. Now, I haven't lost my mind. I understand that Hamas is worse by several thousand times. Hamas is evil, and I don't think that Israel is evil. I just think it's a combination of things. I think they've been in this state of mind, this battle state of mind for so long, I think they've lost a bit of their soul. They look at this and they go, well, it's an acceptable loss. I think there is a bit of that. And I also think that they're sheerly fucking incompetent. Now, understand, if this were the first time this was happening, I wouldn't say that. But how many more Doctors Without Borders vans need to be blown up by the IDF? Or, people who were, women and children need to be blown up by the IDF before people start criticizing them and saying that you need to be a little bit more fucking careful. I think there is a little bit of bloodlust, and I think there is a little bit of incompetence, and I don't think that you can attribute it to one or the other specifically. Now, Israel is an ally of the United States. It's the ally of the Western world. I think that there needs to be a come to Jesus meeting, no pun intended, and there needs to be a conversation like, look, you are an independent nation, but you take money from the US, you take support from other places. You need to cut this shit out. We need to really work at getting a peace in place, because there are kids that are living in squalor and filth and drinking from these goddamn buckets, these water containers. That looks disgusting. We understand that Hamas is a threat, but think about it from the Palestinians. This kid didn't vote for Hamas. This kid right here, whoever he is, didn't vote to be born where he is. He's just there. And on one side, his friends are being killed by Hamas or being threatened by Hamas. It's terrible. On the other side, you've got Israel that hates Hamas so much that they're willing to kill this kid's friends. And what do you think this kid's life is going to be? He's already seeing horrors that no kid should ever have to see. And that's where I'm fucking furious. When it comes to children, I'm very protective. In the Bible, Jesus was very clear that children are the future and children should be protected. It's why I'm as absolutely It's why I'm absolutely so, I don't want to say that word. It's why I'm so adamant and vehement about being against the left trying to sexualize kids. It's why I'm so against abortion, watching liberal women try to murder the baby within themselves because it's an inconvenience for them, because they'd rather avoid and shed responsibility than doing the right thing, and so they'll kill a human life to do that. I'm against the left's obsession and love for child labor. And I'm not even kidding you, whether it's child labor in China or it's child labor on the weed farms in California, where the left is perfectly okay with exploiting children in these terrible conditions just so that they can have their goods and services a little bit cheaper. I am against the exploitation and harm of children. I'm against it when the U.S. does it. I'm against it when anyone does it. Now, I understand you can say, well, we're at war. We're at war in Israel. We have a right to defend ourselves. Yes, you do have a right to defend yourself. However, you do not have a right to kill kids. You do not. This has been a prolonged conflict, and there are innocent people that have nowhere to go and no choice. So, what do we do with this? As an American, there's nothing I can do. I can't influence Israel and Israeli politics or anything like that. But I want to make this video in the hopes that maybe, even though it's a less than 1% chance, that maybe it does something to wake somebody up, that they can do something positive about this to stop this shit from happening. Because, damn, these kids have to live through this. It's horrific. Oh, you go to the watering hole and you could be killed by Israel. You go to the watering hole, you go to the food thing, you could be killed by Hamas. That's no way to live. No matter if you support Hamas like Hassan or whether you support Israel, it doesn't matter. These kids ultimately are living through this hell, and I'm against that. I'm against what they're going through because it is cruel. The fact that 6 kids died as they were hanging around the watering hole. Why is Israel firing bombs near watering holes? Unless there is a Hamas guy with an RPG, or some missile standing near the watering hole, I don't know why you would feel comfortable aiming a missile so close. A missile. If it had if it wasn't that precise, if you weren't 100% sure, then you don't fire it. That's my perspective. Am I crazy? Am I being unreasonable here? Is this anti-Semitic? You just hate Jews. We should have the right to defend ourselves against kids? Against little kids getting things in water? Now, I understand. There will be people who say, well, when you invaded Iraq, there were kids that died. Yeah, I was against that too. Amazing what it is to be consistent rather than having your morals dependent on, the flavor of the month. The flavor of the month. No, my morals come from the Bible, come from God, come from Jesus. These are not ever shifting, ever changing things. And now, of course, we're human. We get things wrong. We may think one thing and it's actually another. We're not omniscient. But with the information that we do have, we can make value judgments. And from everything that I've seen here, there was not some secret terrorist cabal that was meeting near the watering hole with a bunch of kids. This seems to me a little bit of bloodlust, a little bit of, well, we don't really care that much, and incompetence. And that shit needs to stop. I mean, for the love of God, I understand the rage. I do. I understand the rage after October 6th, or was it October 7th? October 6th. No, am I thinking January 6th and October 7th? Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I mixed October 7th and January 6th. I apologize for that. October 7th. I understand after October 7th, there is a bloodlust. There is a rage that is understandable and justifiable. But that was a long time ago. And a lot of people have died. Most of them have been people that deserved it. But a lot of people who did not. And the thing is, you can be mad at what I'm saying. You can say it's anti-Semitic, but when you stand in front of the Almighty and the Creator of the universe, and you have to explain why you killed a bunch of kids, I hope that you have a damn good explanation and rationale, because understand that the Creator is much smarter, infinitely smarter than I am, or any of us are. So if you think you're going to be able to fool him or deceive him or trick him or anything like that, you've got another thing coming. You're actually going to have to be held to account for what you did when you meet the Almighty. And personally, I wouldn't want to sit there and try to justify killing kids. Well, you don't understand. On October 7th, this thing happened. Well, did any of these kids do that? No, but I think that Israel really needs to look at what it's doing. Hamas is the villain. Hamas is the bad guy. But these kids are innocent. These kids are absolutely innocent. Unless you think these kids are somehow secretly, Hamas. Well, they may not have been yesterday, but they could be today. I mean, these kids could be radical from this in a major way. They talked about, what was that clip I saw going around? That, the math is, if there's 10 terrorists and you kill 2 of them, how many terrorists do you have? And everyone was like, well, 8. He goes, no, you got 20. That's terrorist math. Because their friends that may have been on the edge, their family members, now they're radicalized against you. I think that there needs to be a peace. It needs to be addressed quickly, and this needs to be put to bed. I understand that some people may have a difference of opinion. They may have a more pro-Israel position, which, by the way, is I think the only reasonable position in this. Like, my position, I think, is the correct one. But if you're pro-Hamas in this, if you're pro-terrorist, I think you're fucking evil and you're insane. You're absolutely insane. Hamas is a despicable, evil group. The reason why I even bother criticizing Israel the way that I do is because I think that they have the ability to change. They do. I think that they have the ability to recognize what they did is wrong. I don't think that Hamas has that at all. I don't think they have the intelligence or the security or the strength of will or courage to admit when they're wrong. I think they double and triple and quadruple down. And I think that in many cases, they kind of actually enjoy doing what they do to their own people and others. But I don't think Israel is enjoying this necessarily. I think it's just a combination of them being so angry and them being so frustrated and them having the superior position. And honestly, a little bit of it is incompetence and a little bit of it is bloodlust. And I think that shit needs to stop. That's my opinion as an American. Take from that what you will. But honestly, if you want to know the truth of it, I think we should stop funding Israel. I think we should stop funding all of these groups in foreign countries. That's my opinion. I think that we should let them be. I think that we should stay out of it. Because I don't feel right giving money to Israel when it's being used to kill kids. I don't have anything against Israel. I'm not anti-Israel. I just think that as an American, as somebody who's America first, I put this country first. I put its people first. And yeah, shit like this is just absolutely tragic. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. See you next time.